I'm gonna start with the story actually. A couple of years ago, I didn't even want to like think or talk or learn anything about AI. I was so against it. I was like, no, I'm gonna stick my head in the sand and not learn about this. And I was actually out with my friend Rob Harkey, and he was showing me all this stuff that he was doing, and I was like, I feel like I was like missing out. So I started to kind of dig in a little bit more and see what I had to offer, at least for me. And so a lot of what I came across was these like big sweeping changes that were going to happen that I was like, what are the practical things that I could do with it today? Like tonight, even like not change my entire career overnight, which I don't think a lot of us want that to happen. So these are three examples that I found that I think you can use at any time. Okay, let's get right into it. I picked this example on purpose because it's a little boring. This towel ended up on my desk, and my boss is like, "Hey, can you shoot this?" And I'm like, I didn't get into this whole career to shoot towels, but like here we are, like I have to figure out a way to shoot this. I was like in between meetings, so my team was kind of waiting for my direction, and I was like, I could get on Pinterest, I could find examples, but I'm like, what? Let me just go to ChatGPT. Like, let me see what they kind of gave me an inspiration. Here's my prompt. So it gave me 4 different versions of it. I didn't like any of them. And then I said simpler way, and it showed me this. And I was like, okay, that's perfect. That's one aspect of it. And I also had to do the same for the on model portion. My prompt for this is a little bit longer. You could read it there. Um, and it got it wrong too. It didn't even show me the feet initially. So I think AI is not without its faults, right? You also have to like learn how to use it, and I think that was part of my journey is kind of figuring it out, like knowing its limitations. Even for some reason, gave me the image sideways. I had to like crop it and kind of put it there. So I had the 2 images. I sent them off to my boss, and I was just like, "What do you think of this style to shoot the towel?" And she's like, "Love it." So I gave it to my team, and they gave me this. And I felt like the team was much better prepared to go into the photo shoot when they had something solid, tangible, instead of me just being like, I don't know, make it up, and them wasting a bunch of time um, trying to get something that they think I would have wanted or the client would have wanted. So coming in kind of a little bit more prepared. And again, those examples took me probably 5 minutes to generate, and it saved the team on set a ton of time. Okay, and then the other thing that I wanted to talk about was like, again, what are the practical things? What are the everyday tasks that I kind of start using it a lot for? Here's a great example. I was building out a photo studio for Rhone, like it's a new studio, and they asked me to put equipment list together. And I was like, okay, I could start from the ground up. I have some of them because I've done this before. But I'm like, what if I just ask ChatGPT to kind of get me halfway there, right? And they gave me this list with links, prices, and everything all in. And was it perfect? No, it definitely wasn't perfect, but it was a solid starting point. And it allowed me to like, instead of looking at this blank slate, I kind of just had to edit it down and change it to the gear I wanted it. And it was such a great starting point versus having absolutely nothing, right? So I use these examples a lot for it's like uh, just trying to inspire you to like everyday tasks that you think you don't know where to start. Maybe just start there, and it might kind of propel you. It might not. The other one, this is a very simple one. They asked me to find some seamless paper in Utah, and yeah, I could go to Google, but I got like a million results. I like had no idea which was to start calling. So I'm like, let me just go to ChatGPT. I've kind of been leaning more on that versus even Google, and it found me 2 places. I called the first place. They had it on stock. I was able to order it. This all happened within a few minutes. So my boss is like, "How do you find these stuff so quickly?" I'm like, I feel like I had like a little bit of superpowers. I was like, don't worry about that. Um, and then the last one, I was gonna put a bunch of different formulas, but I picked this one specifically because it's like one of the longest ones I had ChatGPT make for me. And it just combined 3 columns, and it kind of takes away any characters that could be a problem. If you could dream up the formulas for like in Google Sheets or in Excel, like it can write it for you. And it's been amazing for me because even if it gets it wrong, I've plugged it in, be like, "It's gonna go to this column, it's gonna go to this row," and I plugged it in, it doesn't work. I'll just say like, "Hey, for some reason, this is the error I'm getting. It's not working." And I'll be like, "Oh, I see my error," and it'll actually give me a brand new formula that I plug in, and it works. And my company currently thinks I am like this Excel wizard. They really do. And when I show this presentation to my boss, because I ran the whole thing through, she was like, So do you know Excel, or you just use this?" I'm like, "I know it a little bit, but this has really helped me." Like, yeah, it makes me look like I really know a lot more than I do. And the last one we're gonna get into is like a creative post production, and it does feel like I'm going back in time, and you'll see my examples why I feel like that. This is the original image that the photographer took, and they wanted to use it for a banner. I don't care how many times you tell people to get plates. Like, get plates. Like, you put it on the call sheet, you tell them in person, they just forget. They're in the moment. The photographers are just like, and they're like, "Hey, can you add this image as a banner, and it needs to be this wide." And I'm like, "Oh my god, for me to create that in Photoshop, it takes a lot of time." This took me 5 seconds. I just here's the initial image. This is the AI, and it allowed us to use this image in a way that it was, not even intended originally, but for our banners and our emails or whatnot. I have another example. We shot this for a social media specifically, so it was shot like, vertical. And again, they come to me, they're like, "Ooh, you did such a great job with the other one. Can we get this one as a banner?" I'm like, "Okay, let's see what we can do." And my whole thing was not to like change the imagery to be something completely different, but to enhance it, to allow us to use it in maybe places that we initially didn't anticipate. So I didn't. It won't make the whole thing. You have to kind of do it by segments. I did her like hand first, and then the background. Um, but it is like going back in time, because now, instead of getting or being on top of the photography, like shoot everything wide, so we could crop when we want. We could just allow them to kind of be creative, and then we could pull it back and make it useful for us. And that's everything.